speaker is Caleb McCoy. He will be followed by Tom McHugh.
All right, first, school board, I just want to let you all know, I love you. Mr. Short, I've known you since I was in first grade. I love you to death. All right, so you guys are doing a great job with taking everything from everyone. All right, Mr. Freshwater has always been a positive role model for me and countless other students over the years. I would like to recap some of the events that have taken place since April of this year. On Friday, April 18th, we held a rally at the high school to sign the petition supporting Mr. Freshwater. Me and a couple of my friends were there for 45 minutes at the Spear Rock just outside. And in that time, we had over 500 signatures of students and community members. We continued that petition over the weekend, and by Sunday evening, we had over 1,200 signatures in support of Mr. Freshwater. The petition was presented to the school board at the May board meeting. And since then, there have been numerous rallies to show our support for Mr. Freshwater. And we've received letters and emails from all over the place. So I have one question. Why get rid of Mr. Freshwater when there are so many people that support him and love him? I know that there are many aspects of the situation, but it seems clear that the voices of the few were heard over the voices of the many. I cannot speak on all the allegations, but I doubt that many in the community can stand up to the scrutiny that Mr. Freshwater has had to go through. If I were to be investigated, I would only hope that my actions would be like this. I wonder how many of us could honestly measure up to Mr. Freshwater's character, integrity, and commitment to others. His love for everyone. So, are the Mount Vernon City Schools so clear of other problems that we need to spend all this time, all of this money, all of our entire summer focusing on one person and trying to get rid of him? I was looking on the internet and on the Dispatch's website under one of the first articles about Mr. Freshwater, there was a comment by a man that said, "Come on guys, don't you think that we need to clear the schools of sex, violence, drugs, and guns, and then we can come back for the Bibles?" Yeah. I think that comment says it all. I mean, what are we focusing on? Are we trying to better our schools? Are we trying to improve things? Are we trying to see what's best for the students? Which, by the way, almost 500 of them signed the petition supporting Mr. Freshwater. I think it's just silly. I mean, we spend the entire summer bickering.
He will be the next speaker, and he will be followed by Tim Booker.
Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the opportunity to let me speak here tonight, Board of Education. I hesitated coming because I'm not as good as many of these people that have spoken tonight. It's very enlightening. But I thought about the 7th and 8th grade students all over the country that are so impressionable. I spent 28 years in education, teaching and coaching in high school and college, never in the junior high. And I found the high school kids and college young men and women were very impressionable, and you could guide them to do just about anything you wanted to stay with them. I felt maybe I should express myself tonight in the humble way that I can. If a 7th grader and his family were courageous enough to question something and follow through with it and stand up to this group. If you talk about Mr. Freshwater standing up, there's a 7th grade kid probably sitting here someplace that's gone through hell for the last 6 months. I think it's been proven tonight that John Freshwater is a heck of a good Christian. Practices faith, does a great job, witnesses all over the town, all over the country. And I'm sure there are many great Christians in Knox County that we don't know about. I consider myself a good Christian. And I don't think there's any doubt that Mr. Freshwater is an excellent science teacher. There's many excellent teachers that I've met throughout the years, my wife being one of them, my hero. Best teacher I've ever seen. But that's not why we're here tonight. We're here this evening we actually just talk because we're not having to do with a decision. But the decision will be made by a duly elected Board of Education, who are elected by us to run our schools. So let's all live together by the decision that they make, be happy together, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
The next speaker will be Tim Booker. He will be followed by Charles Fisher.
This book, 40 years ago, was in public schools, and it was used. Prayer, before 1962, was in every public school. I heard it. My parents heard it. God was a part of the fiber of academia. I want to thank the board for letting me speak. It's a travesty what's happening here. Folks, what's happening here happened in Nazi Germany. It happened behind the Iron Curtain. It all started in the academia arena. All started with academia. Making decisions to take God out of science. You take God out of science, you take God out of history. You don't get accurate history if you don't have God, because God is a fiber of what started this nation. We came here to worship freely. A gentleman got up and said, that mentioned the idea of separation in church and state, that is constitutional. Show me where it's in the Constitution. Show me where that term is in the Bill of Rights. I've studied it. It's not there. It's a term, and I'll say it again, it's an expression used by Thomas Jefferson that the state church of America would not be any particular denomination. We got away from that in England. They had to serve the Anglican Church. They had to believe in the Anglican beliefs. And if they didn't, it was sometime they gave their lives for that. It's not removing God from the state. They have twisted, they've listened to lies, these folks around this table. Some of us have listened to lies. Separation of church and state has nothing to do with separating state from God. It actually endorses God with state, but don't endorse a national church. I'm calling, and the media, I want the media to hear this. I'm calling for an investigation. We're making a big to-do about this good man right here, John Freshwater. We need to investigate Dr. Haschak. Yeah. Okay? $200,000 package, okay? Steve Short is in the place of this man right now, I believe. He's an administrator, I know that for a fact. But it's a $2,000 package. The man has received the raise. I smell something here, and I don't like it. I don't like what I'm smelling. Let's investigate Mr. Haschak, Dr. Haschak, okay? Let's investigate this man. I'm asking you all, it's just monologue. Let's investigate this man.